to my channel. I'm Mitzi, also known as Michelle. Well, I am Michelle, also known as Mitzi. Maybe we should say that that way around. Today I'm going to show you how to paint this. I'm going to walk you through step by step, talk you through everything I use. I only use 3 colours in this, and it's a gouache landscape. So, are you ready to paint? I'm going to start off by showing you a few of the landscapes that I've done in this sketchbook.
I know I try to make her mine, but at the same time, I know love is hard to find.
Sketchbook has watercolour paper in it. It's the IOV, I'm not sure how to say it, but that's what it's called. That's that there, and it's got a nice little quote at the front of it. It says, "Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time," by Thomas Merton. It's really nice paper, and it's got a slight texture to it, so I think it's like £140 cold press. A nice big ceramic plate to use as a mixing palette, and I've got my 3 gouaches, which are yellow ochre, spectrum red and ultramarine blue. I'm also going to add white as well. I forgot to put it in at the beginning. The brush I'm using is just a synthetic cheap brush, and I use a square brush, and I've also got some tissue paper to blot the brush out on so it doesn't hold too much water. Now I'm just setting out the paints in the order I like them. It's no particular order here, it's just how I pick them up really. When you start, you just need to make sure you've got everything close to hand. I also taped a nice border around the sketchbook page. Next I choose my brush. I'm using quite a big flat brush here, and it's a synthetic brush, and then I'm going to start by mixing up the darkest colours. Here I use the ultramarine blue, a bit of red and the yellow ochre to try and make sort of a really deepy sort of blacky colour. This is where I wished I had some burnt umber or something, but I tried my best and I ended up making this purpley colour, which I wasn't quite sure whether I liked, so I tried to make it more like bluer. I then painted in the dark areas of the sky, and I was trying to create clouds. If you look at the reference picture, you'll see what I mean. I also added yellow ochre to the sky, which sounds a bit weird, but it worked in this case. This is where I remembered I needed to add white to my palette. I then started painting the light areas of the sky, and then I added the yellow ochre in and let it all blend together. I made this sort of more watery mix, it all sort of flowed in together and it looked quite effective. I keep having to blot off a lot of the water off my brush because I'm a watercolourist. I'm used to having a lot of water in my brush, and using gouache is a bit alien to me. Then mixed up a nice dark purple to start putting in a bit of the land in the distance. Here I'm just trying to create the effect of sort of distant mountains, hills, and then I added a bit of pink. I know that's a bit weird, but I was just trying to experiment with the purples and pinks, that the colours made up the 3 colours, and I think whatever colour you put together, if you've got a limited palette, is all going to work in the end, I think. I then started painting in the dark areas of the sea. At this point I just wanted to get in the lights in the dark and cover up the base of the paper. It was a bit like an underpainting.
That you are so hard to find.
I'm trying to use horizontal strokes so to create the landscape effect. When I was happy with the underpainting, I made sure it was thoroughly dry. I then changed to a smaller brush and then started mixing up some lighter colours to add, so it creates some like tone and contrast. I'm trying to capture where the light coming from the distance will hit the water.
She stands on the sideline, dances slow and looks at me. She must be the sunlight, shines a little more tonight. I know I try to make her mine, but at the same time I know love is hard to find.
I continued building up the dark and the light.
Letters from moonlight, wishes me a good night. We stand on the sideline.
I started adding a bit of highlight to the hills in the background I tried to emulate where the sunlight was like catching the hills, and this sort of made it look a bit more, gave it a bit more depth.
It's fine that you are so hard to find.
Here I'm just flicking some white paint to create the illusion of like splashes and that. I didn't intend to put the waves in, but where I dry brushed it ended up looking a bit like there was waves breaking, so I went with it and added some darks under the waves and made them look a bit more like waves, really. Here I'm just painting this shadow underneath the waves and then adding a bit of highlight on the top to make them look a bit more realistic. I'm constantly adjusting the tone of the painting, adding more lights and dark as I go. It's difficult to know when to stop adding little bits and pieces. When I think it's finished, I have to go, right, stop now. It's finished, it looks okay, don't overwork it.
Shines a little more tonight. I know I try to make up.
But me being me, I keep on and adding little bits and speckles and everything, but I finally thought, yeah, that looks nice, I'm going to go with that. And then I sit back and look at it for a bit and decide it needs something else here and there. So just sit back, and it's good to like leave it, walk away and come back to it and think, yeah, that's okay, it doesn't need anything else. After looking at it for a bit, I decided to add some green, like a really dark green, to the hills at the back. I'm not sure why, but it did really work. It just sort of gave it another dimension and a bit more depth to it.
I know I tried lots and lots of times, but maybe it's fine that you are so hard to find.
And there you are, it's finished. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a go at painting it. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. You can also catch me painting this live, and I would link to it underneath the video.